Hello, hello. I think we got something going over there on the Ustream. Yeah. All right, and now we got something going over here, a little go live action. I did not even write a title for this. I just hit go live. Can you believe that, dude?
That's okay. That's
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I just went for it. I mean, just out and out, go. You know, I mean, I'm not messing around here, son. All right, kids. Got to make sure that your left window is up. Hello, everybody. Welcome, by the way. Hang on. I have a new script, so I got to find the script. Hang on. I have to find the script, and then I'll read the script. Okay, hang on. Let me make Justin look pretty.
First new show, everybody.
First new show.
Just sitting over here dancing.
Yeah, hey, you got some moves, baby.
I know.
Hey, Jordan. Jordan is in the house, as it were. All right, I'm just going to move that window over there. I'm going to make a this window and go so big. There we are. Rock and roll. Okay, so those of y'all who are new, hi. Those of y'all who are old, we don't practice ageism here, so hi. All right, let's see. I got to do the new script. So we got a new script. So Justin made me a script. So I got to say a script. Justin's harshing my vibe. That's what he's doing. Harshing my mellow, making me say a script. So
I'm improving your vibe and improving your mellow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so 11:15 a.m. Welcome to the Church Media Guys show, where each week you'll learn how to harness the latest and great. Okay, so that's basically what the script is. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Here's the gist of the script. Hey guys, welcome to the Church Media Guys show, where each week we learn how to harness the latest and greatest technology so that you can share your mission and maximize your ministry. If we haven't met before, my name is Dave Curley, and I am the founder of ChurchTrainingAcademy.com, where we teach you guys how to do just that. Now, let's see what else is in the script here. It says, I've been in the church media ministry since 19 underscore and underscore fun fact in parentheses. So, we got that part in now.
I hate you so much right now.
Just having a little fun. Actually, I've been in the church media ministry. I've been like really hardcore for the last couple of years. Prior to that, I mean, if you really want to go back, I was about 7 when I was sitting with my dad, recording on cassette tapes the services at our church, and we didn't even have like a mixer with all the dials and stuff like that. We had this little thing from Shure that you plug the microphones in, and it had these little knobs, and we had a tape recorder and stuff. It's really old school. So technically I've been doing it for like 30 years, but really hardcore stuff I've been doing it for a couple of years. But I have been doing production and stuff like that on the internet and even offline for 20 something years. So I do have a little bit of credentials. By the way, speaking of credentials, one guy that's credentialed up one side and down the other is my partner, Mr. Justin Nava, who is joining us. Hey, buddy.
What's going on, guys? Hey, Dave. Why don't I just read my part of the script since we're just ruining everything here?
Okay.
Justin, quick hype with mention of live comment or viewer.
Yes, that is that portion of the thing.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here. Today's going to be a lot of fun.
And by the way, those of y'all who don't know what you're looking at, by the way, just so that you do know, we are taping the new show, Church Media Guys show. And what we want to do is have you guys a part of the ride. We want y'all to join us and stuff. So think of yourselves as a studio audience who gets to yell and shout and throw things, because you get to do that in the chat room. And you know, we'll stop, we'll start, we'll say something over again, things like that. That's what happens when you're doing a taping. And the whole idea here is to learn and to have fun and, you know, get to hang out and spend time with you guys. That was sorry.
We're live.
We're live. Went down the wrong pipe. that is part of what we do here, guys. Is just get to hang out with you guys and spend time with you. Now, officially, Justin, this is now your part. I had to get the rest of the paragraph that you typed up.
What's going on, guys? I'm glad to be here. It's going to be a great day. We're going to talk about something that not a lot of churches are talking about. And I know Chris, especially in the chat, she's been asking us about it in the CTA Insiders group. And so we're going to talk about it today and give her some value. And you also, you'll get the benefit of her question.
Yes. Oh, and by the way, just in case you guys don't know, you guys can really sort of guide the direction of the Church Media Guide show. And I wouldn't say it's a stretch to say, Justin, that they can like pretty much guide the direction of you and me day to day, just by letting us know the things that they don't understand, the things they want to learn about, technology techniques, marketing techniques, all this kind of stuff, things that they're wanting to get into, things that they've heard about and they're not sure about, stuff like that. I mean, this studio audience, the folks that are listening to us here on the replay or visiting with us live, they can pretty much dictate what we do on a day-to-day basis, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, the people watching live for sure, because when we're doing the interview, they can ask questions and then we can answer their questions right then and there. And whenever people ask questions, that tells us, okay, one person asked this question, which means 500 people didn't. And so we can answer the questions that everyone's having. All you have to do is just respond, interact, engage.
Yes, by all means, please do.
If you share our stuff, your question gets moved to the top of the queue.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, please share, guys. We are starting. Would we call this? We could call this season 2 of our endeavor here. We can call it a new show. We're not going to like change the feed or anything like that. It's just going to be the next iteration of this show. But we definitely want you guys to share this. We want subscribers to our podcast. We want subscribers to our YouTube channel, because each person wants to consume our content in different ways and stuff. So we're trying to get it to you guys in as convenient a way and as many ways possible, without just like going crazy. I mean, we're not going to like do skywriting yet. Or anything like that. And I've done a couple of billboards, but I really don't want to do a billboard each week. But I mean, if we have to, we have to. So, have you ever designed a billboard? Have you ever designed a billboard?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Have you ever watched one get printed?
It's a different animal.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen one hung up.
I went
actually put on the board.
I went to when they were printing it and watched them and stuff. I was amazed. I mean, it's a gigantic inkjet printer basically, but I was amazed that it was printing at like 60 dots per inch for you print geeks and stuff. Very low resolution.
That's all you need.
Yeah, you really do, because you're so far away when you look at it. Who we got in the chat room? We've got Chris. She's shouting at us. Why does she do that?
She's excited.
I mean, she's just shouting. It just says shout. Let's see. We got 2 Chris's. We got Chris Hall and we got Chris Oshinsky. We've got Mr. Jordan Tecklenburg. I never get his name right. I just call him Jordan. He's like Sting or Cher. All right, guys. I think we are good. All right, cool. Are you ready to start, sir?
I'm ready.
Good deal. Kill our music. All right. I'm trying to think. Do I want to show the pro tip? I think I'll show the pro tip, but then I'm gonna have to exit out of this for just a second here, bud. You're getting shrunk on me. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Yeah, I think I am going to show the pro tip, but I'll show it actually in use next week. So let me get that scaled 2 seconds here. Okay, and bring up the J-Man. There we go. Hey guys, welcome to the Church Media Guys Show, where each week we learn how to harness the latest and greatest in technology and exploit the heck out of it so that we can take the gospel to the world and maximize the power of the ministries that God has given us. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Dave Curley, and I'm the founder of ChurchTrainingAcademy.com, where we teach exactly that. And with me, as usual, each week, faithfully, is Mr. Justin Nava, one of my newest, dearest, and I'm going to say on his way to being one of my best friends. Hi, bud.
What's going on, Dave? I didn't expect to cry today.
Don't
so
cry.
Hold back the tears from your nice words.
Come on.
And, I'm ready for today. Let's do it.
I'm drinking coffee. Sorry. I thought you were going to talk a little bit more. You usually say a few other things. Hello to everybody who is watching us live. Those of you guys that are watching the replay or watching this in podcast, YouTube, over the top box, from our website, any other form. If you're reading a transcript of this, then hello to you as well. We are so glad you guys are here. And those of you that are watching us live, be sure to leave comments in the chat. Let us know questions and things that you have, suggestions, all that sort of stuff, because we do respond and we do take what you guys are looking for into consideration as we're doing the show live and as we are preparing other shows and other content and all that great sort of stuff. Now, one of the features that we've been kind of developing in our show over the last several months has been our pro tip, and that is what we're going to kick off now. Okay, this is where we do our little pro tip intro. All right, so I'm going to kick over to me, and we're going to pro tip it. All right. Ooh, cool. I can actually... I couldn't I? I could actually do this dual screen. How cool is that? Hang on one sec, guys. I'm getting a shot set up. Yes, that works. Hey, guys, this week's pro tip is a little tool that I've been using for quite a while that I actually... I kind of find it indispensable, and I really didn't realize that I found it indispensable until I just kind of stepped back, looked at it, and said, holy cow, this is something that's indispensable. You guys know what a PDF is, right? Portable document format. Remember, you had back in the day, you'd have to install the Adobe PDF reader, and then when someone sent you a PDF file, like a Word document that they made into a PDF file, or an ebook or something like that, they'd send it to you. You have to download it, and then you'd open up the Acrobat reader, and then you'd look at it and, get to see all the pretty formatting and stuff that they did. Anyway, you guys know what a PDF is. Well, you also know what a Kindle is, right? I mean, you guys use Kindles. It's been around for, gosh, I want to say Kindle's probably been around for 10 years, maybe? A long time. It's an e-reader, right? And now all of our devices can use like the Kindle app. So like on my phone, I've got the Kindle app, and I can read all my books, and on my iPad and on my computer, on the desktop, all that sort of stuff. The Kindle format, the Kindle library has become pretty indispensable way to read printed content, right? Well, did you know that they have this great little app called Send to Kindle? Send to Kindle is awesome, guys. They have several different ways that you can get the content from, say, a web page or a document or a PDF that somebody has sent you. They've got all these different ways right here where you can get that stuff into your Kindle. So you can like email it. You can do it from your browser. They've got an extension for Chrome. They've got an extension for Firefox. You can do it from an app on your PC or on your Mac. So you can actually like drag a PDF onto it, let go, boop, there it goes. You can do it from your Android device, from iOS. You can even have a button installed on your website so that the people visiting your website can take whatever they're looking at and send it to their Kindle. It is extremely cool. It is free. I highly suggest that you guys do it. One of the things that I found out, and your mileage is going to vary depending on how the document is set up, but you can actually take a PDF, and when you are sending to Kindle, you can actually have it converted into the Kindle format. Sometimes it turns out great. Sometimes it turns out kind of weird looking. but it's definitely worth trying. It only takes a few seconds to do it. Anyway, Send to Kindle. It is free. If you just go and do a quick search for Send to Kindle, then you will get into this nice little Amazon.com/this/Send to Kindle. Anyway, it's fantastic. I highly recommend using it. How was that? Did I do good?
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, let me make you large screen now here. Dude, hang on. There it is. All right. So, do you use your Kindle, and have you used the Send to Kindle thing, Justin?
I do not have a Kindle. I have the Kindle app where I buy ebooks from Amazon and I read them on my iPad.
Did you ever buy a Kindle? Ever?
No, I never bought a Kindle. The only
No?
Kindle I ever bought, I immediately resold.
Really?
I flipped it. I bought it for $5 at a garage sale, and I sold it for $30 on eBay. It was broken too. So that's the only Kindle I've ever bought.
Okay. Go figure. But you do use Kindle. You use that format?
I buy books on Amazon and I read them on the Kindle app.
Awesome.
On my iPad.
Have you used the Send to Kindle app? Have you sent stuff that way?
I've never heard of it.
Nice.
Never heard of it.
I'm glad I could enlighten you. Speaking of enlightening, I believe you're going to be enlightening us today during our feature presentation.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, let's get to our feature presentation. All right. Actually, before we do that, you're going to do the next little section, right?
Yeah, let me back it up a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to cut to a full screen of you then, okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right, go for it.
No, I haven't heard of Send to Kindle before today, but I'm glad you did, because now when I get a PDF from someone, I'm going to use that to send it to my Kindle app. So I don't have to go back and find the website or find the email, right? So I can get something like our Easy Live Streaming for Churches. I can get that PDF book right now, use the Send to Kindle app and send it to my iPad. Then I don't have to find the email. I don't have to save it to Drive or Dropbox. I can just use Send to Kindle and send it to my app. So if you want to test it out yourself, and I highly encourage you to, go to easylivestreaming.com and get our free guide, Live Streaming for Churches the Easy Way. It's going to show you 4 easy ways that you can live stream, and 2 of them are going to get you started right now. No equipment, no purchase. You can just start right now and start sharing your church culture and start sharing your church's mission and the gospel using just 2 of these ways right now. You don't have to buy anything. It's a free guide. So go to easylivestreaming.com, find out how you can do that with our Live Streaming the Easy Way for Churches, and use the Send to Kindle app, send it to your Kindle, and then you're going to have it either on your Kindle or, like me, on your Kindle app, anywhere you go in that one place. It seems like a pretty good case study for this app.
Awesome.
Am I right, Dave?
Yeah, you did good. You did good. No, I'm editing in my head. For those of y'all watching live, we're doing this in chunks because I then take it and put it together with the bumpers and all that sort of stuff. So when he just finished and had that little silent point, that's where you're going to be seeing the feature presentation little bumper that moves us into the little core meaty piece of our show that we're doing here, which we're actually moving to next. So, Justin, this week we are talking about email marketing, using your church's newsletter, the email newsletter, all that sort of stuff. This is something that I know what you're going to say. This is something that has bugged me for a while about church newsletters, or not necessarily their newsletter. You know, not like the one that they mail out, but like using their email to just do their newsletter. It seems that churches, that's how they're using their email. Like 90% of the time is just to send out a copy of the newsletter that I'm going to get in the mail in a couple of days anyway. Yeah. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's not even like a copy you're getting in the mail. It's like a direct PDF of the bulletin.
Right. So they should just email the PDF and use the Send to Kindle app to send it to their Kindle.
That's what they're doing.
Right.
On a bad day, and then on a good day, they take the bulletin file and they copy the contents and then insert it into the email and send it out.
That's right. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to actually use these same tools that you're using, but in a much more effective way. And Justin is kind of the king of doing that. So, dude, what do you have for us today?
So first, I want to kind of create some awareness of this problem.
Okay.
Like, why is this a problem, Dave? Why can't I I mean, you're asking me, Justin.
Justin.
I want people to understand. Like, if you're asking yourself right now, if you're listening to this, watching this, wherever you're watching, and you're saying, "What's wrong with that? Why can't I just send a PDF of my bulletin or put a PDF of my bulletin on my website?" But we're talking about email.
Right.
Why can't I do that? And the answer is, well, have you looked at how many people are opening your newsletters? I
Yeah.
would start there.
Yeah, that's
So
that's one of the big things is how many people are doing it, because if you've done it once or twice, hey, and listen, all cards on the table right here, right? This is, I mean, you and I are doing this stuff that we talk about. We're helping our churches do this stuff, right? So at my church, we're sending out a newsletter. We send out, with the exception of special announcement things like Miss Juanita's funeral is going to be on Thursday. Those types of emails that you do send out, which that type of thing is completely separate. Sending out the newsletter, that's one of the things that annoys me at our church, is that we're doing our email primarily for that, where I think it needs to be one type of email that we're sending in several in the week. And you ask what the problem is with doing that. I think if you step back from the fact that you're doing it, I think trying to get it done is where the problem is. And I'm not going to say laziness, because I don't necessarily think it's laziness. I just think it's lack of creativity. So lack of creativity or lack of thinking critically about the content in here that you're going to be sending out leads to just dropping a PDF in, and it ends up putting barriers in between the person who you want to consume this and the person who's actually creating the content to send out. If you're emailing a PDF and they now have to click on the PDF, save to desktop, and then open the PDF to get it, or hope that they have the little app or whatever on their phone you see what I'm saying? It's like that you're making them jump through hoops to get information that they either may already know or really not care about it in this moment. Am I missing something?
Yeah, you're right on. You're right on there.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't want to say it's laziness. I just think it's lack of creativity or lack of thinking critically about this as this tool, email, this media, this vehicle, in a creative way.
So I don't think it's a lack of creativity. I think it's a lack of analyzing what you're doing.
Okay.
So for instance, I get emails from my preschool, and they are just images someone made in Canva, right, and exported to the email. And I have a really hard time opening them because the images don't load right. They don't load on phone. Sometimes I'll get the email, open it, and I'll come back 5 minutes later and it's still not opened. And I asked the administration about this, and they say, well, we just send them out. Like, they don't even open their own emails. They don't even open their own emails. So they don't know the problem. And I said, has any other school taught you this or any others? Like, no, we just kind of do it. So that's the first issue, is that maybe your church is sending out this email newsletter and you're wondering why no one's reading it. Well, first you got to read it yourself and then ask yourself, is this anything like emails I receive from other organizations and other companies? And the answer is probably no. And that's the first problem, is we kind of just do something to do it and say we've done it. And we don't actually see how we can do it better or how we can do it the right way.
Okay. Now, parenthetically, don't let what we're saying right there stop you from doing. Okay? Because one of the things that we always teach is, even if you don't know how to do it perfectly, even if you only know how to do it 50% right, get started, right? So start doing, but be critical of what you're doing and step back and take a look at it. Like Justin said, take a look at the ones that you receive, the reason that you're receiving, the reason that you're opening. Start thinking like that. So, but that doesn't mean just don't do it. And 6 months down the line, you still haven't done it because you're not making it like Bill and Ted's Excellent Church down the street is doing it.
Right. So we need to actually look at what other people are doing and compare it to what we're doing. So people may not be opening up your newsletter, but you have emails coming to you from other organizations that you either signed up for, or you do business with, and they pay someone $100,000 a year just to write email. And so that's a good starting place. Is if no one's opening your newsletters, actually start looking at what other people are doing and start to model them. Now, I'm not saying copy. I'm not saying, oh, Bill and Ted's across the way, they do an awesome email, let me copy exactly what they did. But what you can do is take hints from what they're doing. You don't have to copy their email and then just fill in your own information, right? But if you're trying to reach the same people in your town that Bill and Ted's is doing a good job reaching, there's nothing wrong with modeling what they're doing. So maybe Bill and Ted's only does one announcement per email, right? And you know that's really working for them. So go ahead and model that. Change it up, test it, see. We talked last week about whether yard signs are effective or not. Well, to call something ineffective, you have to be able to measure it. And if you're not measuring who's opening your email or how often, or getting feedback, even like, hey, Cheryl, do you open our church newsletter? And she says no. Ask her why or why not. And that's going to get you on the right path. Just like you said, Dave, you don't have, I'm not saying stop doing it. I'm just saying, let's find some ways to do it right.
So is there, I mean, out of the emails that you send, I mean, is there a good response rate to know that you're, I guess, hitting the mark?
Yes. And it's much lower than you would think. Imagine you had a church potluck. You have a church of 200 people and you say, hey guys, we're having a potluck. And after service, 50 people came to that potluck. Now, would you sit around? I think a lot of pastors would not sit around and say, you know what? We have 200 people and only 50 came to our potluck. This is ridiculous. Why are we even doing stage announcements? We need to stop doing them because only 1 in 4 people came. Can you imagine if a church did that, made an announcement to 200 people, and 1 in 4 came, and then we were like, no, this doesn't work. Stop doing stage announcements. Like, that would be ridiculous.
Right.
But it's the same way with emails. I see time and time again on the church communications group, people say, oh, only 1 in 3 people open our emails, only 1 in 4. And they get so bogged down about it. And we lose sight of the greater vision. We try to blame the tool instead of actually look at how it's supposed to work.
Right.
And actually, according to Marketing Sherpa, this is a big marketing company. They do lots of research and lots of data. According to them, in the religious sector, in the religious industry, the average open rate is 24%. So if you're using an email tool and you can track how many people open your email, if you can get 1 in 4 people to open your email, you're right on target. You're right on. And a lot of churches I even talk to say, oh, we only 1 in 3 people. You're actually doing better. If you're getting 33% of people to open your email, you're actually doing better than the average church. So that's kind of your statistic, right? The normality. If you can get up to 1 in 4, or I would say even 1 in 5, you're doing pretty good with email. Like, you're not failing there. And if you're doing 1 in 10, like you're doing 10%, you got some wiggle room. You got some room to grow. So start asking around, get that feedback like we talked about.
Just and aside to that, one of the things I heard with somebody I listened to, I think it's Tim Schmoyer over there that does the YouTube Creators podcast. One of the things that he said, when you take a look at the people that are actually opening and interacting with something that, in this case, it's an email, but he's talking about like subscribers. That someone will create a YouTube channel and they'll have like 50 subscribers, and they'll say, I only have 50 subscribers. And he said, no, you don't understand. You have 50 individuals out there in the world that have said, I really want to watch what this guy makes. So if you have 1 in 3 people opening up your email, let's say your email list is 300. You've got 100 people in your church that are saying, please tell me things and give me good information and encourage me and all this. I mean, you've got 100 people that have said, here, I want to sit down and listen to what you have to say. And that's a big deal. If you start thinking about it like that, then those numbers start to be more encouraging, I guess, than discouraging.
That's right. Absolutely. When I started church marketing school last 2 years ago now, I was so excited when I opened up. Like, the first time I checked, I was like, okay, I've been live for, I don't know how long, a month. And I checked and there were 7 people subscribed to my email list. Yeah. And I was like, that's 7 people that care about what I have to say.
Right.
Like, that's almost the whole church right there. It might have been, I don't know. And it grew from there. And I was just like, I am just so thankful just to have 7. So even if you only have 1 in 10 people, that's 1 in 10 people that are actually taking the time out of their day to open up your email and see what's going on in the church. Now, there are ways we can make that better. And that's what we're going to get into next.
Okay.
Dave, do you have anyone? I know we've had someone on the podcast actually that that does this. But do you have anyone that you open their email more than once a week?
Yeah, there's I usually open up anything that Ben Settle sends. Because he's an email marketing guy, and so I'm always interested in. I kind of study, how he does it and stuff like that. But also, he has funny stuff that he says. Um, also, oh my gosh, I keep. Is it? Hang on. Um, who was our guest like 5 back?
Brandon Cox.
Thank you. I keep going Ben Stapley. No. Justin D. No. Brandon Cox. Yes.
Whenever you're around Dave, you can't have the same letter name as someone else because he just confuses you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yes, Brandon Cox. Brandon, this doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean we're still friends. We're still friends and stuff. You can still come to my birthday party. So yeah, but I'm sorry.
Okay, now let me ask you this: is there anyone that emails you once a week that you just never open their emails? Like you see it in your inbox and like, yeah, okay. And you just move on.
Wow. That's a good question. I could, if I were looking in my inbox, I could tell you. Oh, I hang on. I got my inbox.
I don't need a name. I just need to know like.
No, I'm going to tell you who.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's Justin Nava, and that only does it once a week. Gosh, I think there's one. It's from a creative, and I think he only emails once a week or every 2 weeks. So okay. he does get kind of pushed down below the fold.
Yeah, I do too. I have someone. I have a video company that I love. What's their name? Animoto.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy their product. I don't really enjoy their email.
Right.
So I just never open their emails. And so what I'm getting at is this. I got to ask a bunch of questions to get you mind thinking before I make a point. I like to do the proof before the assertion here. What I'm getting at is that send rate, right? The amount of emails that you send is not the variable of success. It's the content within. And if you can send something that improves someone's life every day, then you will get people to open up your emails every day.
Right.
And if you send stuff that I don't care about, you could send it once every other day, once a week, or once a month. I am not going to open it just because you only send it. Like I'm gonna look at that and say, no, I'm not going to open this. Maybe next month. Like I know what your email looks like. I'm not going to open it. So don't get caught up on the send rate. What you really need to get caught up on is the content. What goes inside of the email itself? Because I have emails that I open every day. Like Ben Settle is one of them. I have parenting emails that just, hey, here's a daily tip. I open that every day. And Billy Taylor, who we've had on our show, and I think he's still watching with us, he has a daily prayer email sequence, and people will open those up every day. And so it's not about the frequency you send, it's about the content. So let's dig more into that content.
Well, here's a question. If you said that the send rate is not, it's not how much you send, it's the quality of what you send. So if you're sending daily or every other day and you're sending good quality, then chances are, especially if it's really connecting with folks, then they're going to be opening it more. If you're only sending like once a month or every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, then should you not just pack in a ton of value? Because I could see, like the person that I'm talking about, ridiculously good stuff, but it just, it gets shoved down under, the 100 emails or so a day, and if I don't catch it that instant that it comes in, then it gets pushed down pretty quick. So I almost would need to make a filter or do something to make sure that I see his thing. So is that a send rate? Is that just the mechanics of the reality of the situation, or what?
Everyone's going to treat their email differently. So there is someone that sends about once every 2 weeks that I will open up every email of his. He's a copywriter, Neville. I can't remember.
Longbottom. He's from Harry Potter.
I can't remember. But he does every 2 weeks, but his emails are like 1,000 words each. And
wow.
I read them up because it's good stuff. He puts images inside there. He's hilarious. And I like him. And he'll tell you the only reason that I send it every 2 weeks is because I can't do that every day. Right.
Sure.
So if you can get away with more value and do it more frequent, then go for it. Try it out. But if you're going to do once a week or once a month, like make sure it is valuable. And if you have the time, pack in the value, pack in the content. That's fine. And again, as you kind of read the responses that people get, they may not care about all that value. So maybe then instead of packing it all in one a week, maybe you spread it out into 2 a week or something like that. There's a lot of playing. But what I'm saying is that don't get hung up like, oh, once a week doesn't work, so maybe once a month will work better. Like, it's not just the frequency that's the end all be all thing. It's the end all be all, like whether or not people read your email, it's the content inside. So if you do want to go less frequent and more valuable, like an actual blog post from the pastor, like a 500-word email that's valuable and funny and people can relate with, then go for it. Because the content is what matters. And if you can send more valuable content in less span of time, like do, 1 email a day, then try it out. As long as it's valuable and as long as it helps the people who open it up, like that's the key, is the value. And then the frequency isn't so much.
Right.
But yeah, when you do have less frequency, you can pack in the value. Just don't make sure you don't overwhelm people as well.
Right. That makes sense.
Like send 1 email every 2 weeks that has 500-word articles inside.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. You should have a blog.
Probably.
Maybe you should install WordPress. What secrets or tricks or tactics or anything like that can really help with a church's email marketing?
So number 1 is know who you're emailing. I was a college kid I guess I can't say a few years ago, 10 years ago. I was a college kid 10 years ago, and I was getting emails from my church about the women's conference, about the kids camp.
Where to pick up women. That's good.
I was getting emails about the women's conference that I wasn't invited to, the kids camp for kids I didn't have, and the senior board game night that I wasn't allowed to go to because I wasn't over 60, right? So wow. I was getting emails that were absolutely had zero value to me. Now these were, yes, you could be all Christian-y and be like, oh, you should pray for these things and you should know that they're going, yeah, that's fine, okay? But the average person is looking for what's in it for them. How can they connect with the church?
Yeah.
And if you're just like,
we're consumers.
Like Adam McLaughlin said, if you just throw a bunch of things out at them that doesn't apply,
right,
when you do throw the one thing that does apply, they're going to already dismiss it,
right,
because they're just used to dismissing you in the first place.
Right.
So secret number 1, segment your list. Many church management platforms can do this. Fellowship One, Church Community Builder, a Planning Center, I believe, can do it. They're the bigger ones. They're the more expensive ones. But you can actually say, hey, everyone who's in the youth ministry, send this email to their parents, or everyone who's in the men's ministry, send this email to them. And that way, every email that I get is absolutely 100% applies to me. And if I get an email from about my daughter, and then the next day I get an email about the men's ministry, and then the next day I get an email about something else going on in the church that would, potluck definitely applies to me, then I will open up those 3 emails. But if I get one email that has that information, plus the women's conference, plus the senior ministry, plus whatever, I may not care about any of it because it's not all about me, right? So secret number 1 is just segment your list and only email the information that is relevant to those people. Make sure that they're the only ones that get it. Number 2, real quick, because we're getting close on time here. Number 2, real quick, is to treat your email a little bit more like a relationship than a megaphone. We hear that all the time with social media. Social media is all about talk with people, don't talk at them. Well, guess what? Email is the same thing. I don't want to be preached to in an email. I don't want to be megaphone, hey, come to this thing this week. I don't want that in my email. I don't want that at all. So treat it more like a conversation. If you already segment your list, then you can send an email to the parents. Instead of saying, kids drive-in movie theater tomorrow night, just tell a funny story. Hey, last time we had a kid bring a Batman box, and he built a little Batman car, and he watched the movie in this Batman car. It was hilarious. Here's a picture. We're going to do this again tomorrow night. And hey, can anyone bring Superman or Wonder Woman? Batman needs some friends. Like, I would read that. I would laugh. I would say, aw. And I would immediately think, this sounds so much fun for my daughter. I am so excited. Like, I would read that and be impacted more by that and remember it.
Did y'all really do that?
Yeah, we do have a drive-in movie night where the kids bring in boxes and they have like little cars.
Nice.
I don't know if they decorate them, but that's kind of what it is.
That's their car. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's their car. Yeah,
Brilliant.
exactly. So I would remember that, and I would much rather go to that than just someone saying, "Hey, drive-in movie theater tomorrow night. Click this button to reserve your seat."
Yeah.
I mean, that's so boring. Tell stories. Treat it like a sermon, right? We don't go up and we just read the word and then we say goodbye, right? We
Right.
expound upon it. We tell stories. We share revelations. We do all these things on the stage. Well, guess what? Email is just another way to do the same thing. So that's
Sure.
number 3, is to go beyond the announcement. Email is not just another announcement tool, it's a relationship tool. And like Billy Taylor said, he sent out one email on a Super Bowl Sunday that said, "How can I pray for you?" And he was overwhelmed by the number of emails that came back by people needing prayer. I hundreds, I think it was even thousands. I don't remember exactly. But you can use that as the pastor, as a pastor, or as a lay leader. Just say, "Hey, men, thinking about a camp out. What kind of food do you like? What do you want? Reply back and let me know." You can send that to the men in your church. Tell more stories. What happened to the pastor at Starbucks. Something interesting happens to the pastor at Starbucks. You may not hear about it for 3 months until he finds a sermon that story plugs into. But he can email you the next day and encourage you with a word like, "Hey, I talked to these guys about their dog, and that topic of their dog, I brought them into a conversation about Jesus Christ," and he can lay that out, right? It can be a little teaching moment. It could be a funny story. "Hey guys, this happened to my daughter. She woke up in the middle of the night with a bead in her nose because I let her go to bed with a bead bracelet and it broke, and I was so scared, and I ran over to her to rescue you. Hey, just a quick reminder: don't let your kids go to bed with beads. But you know what? This also reminds me about our kids lock-in. No beads allowed, but we're going to have this kind of fun stuff." You could put a little soft pitch in there towards the end, but just tell stories and relate to people. And what's going to happen is, even though someone's not at church on Sunday, they're going to connect with your pastor throughout the week and continue the relationship there. And if they start to fall away, those emails are just another connection point to where if I go to church and I'm doing good, and then the evil one gets me down and I stop going, an email that you send about a similar experience, or just, "Hey, remember that I'm here. If you need something, give me a call. Here's my number." Like, that can speak to me on a Wednesday, even though I have not been, or let's say on a Tuesday, even though I have not been to church in 2 weeks.
Right.
This is a relationship tool. So that's secret number 3, is use it as a relationship tool. Use it as a disciple tool. Same way you would use social media, same way that you would talk to people in the foyer, use email in the same way. And you're going to reconnect a lot of people to your church and keep them connected with you as the pastor or whatever leadership role you may take.
So, did you get a bead stuck up your nose?
No, my daughter did. It was before my wife's first test, her first
Wow.
graduate level test. The night before, she's studying in the bedroom, put my daughter to bed, and I didn't realize she had a little bead bracelet around her, her wrist. And apparently she took a bead off and was playing with it, and then she stuck it in her nose. And I ran in there. She just started screaming. I mean, and I remember I'm sweating just thinking about this. And I ran in there and she's like, "There's a bee in mine." I'm like, "There's a bee in?" I was thinking like maybe she had like a sharp booger or something that was poking her.
Yeah.
And I started feeling her nose and I was like, "Wait a second, this side's squishy and this side is hard." And I get my flashlight and I'm like, "Oh," and I said, "This is a mommy job," because my wife she's studying to be a physician assistant.
Hey, yeah, it's a practical for her.
She'll know how to get in there with tweezers and be safe.
Right.
So I go and get her, the night before, it was like 10 o'clock the night before her first graduate level test. I felt so bad.
Dang.
I think she even had like 5 tests that next day.
Gosh.
But that's a funny story.
Sure.
And just as much as you enjoyed hearing it here on the podcast or on the show, people would just as much enjoy hearing it in an email as they would on Sunday morning. And don't be afraid to double up too. Just because you share a story in an email doesn't mean you can't share it again.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And if it's a good story, you'll be able to work it in other times when it's appropriate and stuff. Just don't do it every week.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Awesome. So is that your final tip?
That's it.
Wow. That's it. That's all you brought? I mean, come on.
That's all I brought. That's all I brought. Because let me just do a quick pitch. This was unplanned because we're actually building out an email course right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm collecting questions, like burning questions that people have about email marketing. And that's the number one thing so far is, how do I get more people to open my emails? And it's not that hard. Just do those same things. Segment your list, only send relevant emails to the people they're relevant to. tell stories, tell more stories, and be more valuable. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. There's no secret sauce. There's no magic bullet. There's no type these 3 bullets and say these words and fill in the blank. It's all about relationships. We often look for these magic bullets and quick fixes, but it's not that difficult. You just need to try, experiment, and ask people for their feedback. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So if you go to, I don't have a pretty link for this, but I'll make one. If you go to churchtrainingacademy.com/email dash request, email dash question, churchtrainingacademy.com/email dash question. I'll fix that later. But you can actually ask me, what's your number one question using email for ministry? And I'm going to use that to build this course. And we gave away one for free, but we'll spend the whole year talking about what's going to be in this course if we do this in a podcast. That's why we do these courses. So churchtrainingacademy.com/email dash question. Ask your question, and then one person who submits a question will get a free copy of the course. So they don't have to pay for it. Just because you asked a question, you might get a free copy of the course. I wish I got paid $50 just for asking a question. I'd be a millionaire by the time I was 5 years old.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, this, speaking of courses, this kind of dovetails into why we've created Church Training Academy, and that is we've actually got a membership aspect to Church Training Academy. So you can actually join Church Training Academy. It's churchtrainingacademy.com/join if you're interested. But we have our courses in there. Now, we're getting this set up so that if you just want to buy a specific course, you can buy a specific course. But the real value, it's like a million times better if you join the academy, because every course we make goes in there. All this extra stuff that we do, sometimes it's on a whim. Sometimes we're like, hey, hang on a sec, let's just take this and make sure that the insiders get access to this. So can you tell folks what they get when they join Church Training Academy and what kind of value they're going to get?
Yeah, so you can buy a course, right? You can go buy our church website course and be done with it, and you've just spent your money, and you'll have the tool to learn how to create an amazing website, or when this comes out, an amazing email marketing plan. But when you join Church Training Academy, and it's actually cheap, 1 month or 2 months of the academy is actually cheaper than one course. You get access to all of our courses, all of our extra trainings that we have available. You'll get access to our Facebook Insiders group, which is just for members, where we can bounce off each other. And me and Dave are also in that group. So you can ask a question on the Church Media public group. We may or may not get back to you, right? Because we got other things to do. We're actually serving the insiders. Whereas the insiders ask a question, we're going to be there with the answer, or at least try to find the answer for you.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you get the mastermind group coaching, which means every 2 weeks, we're going to sit down and we're going to ask you, what's your struggles? What's on your mind? What ideas do you have? What do you need help with? And we just had ours last night. And one of our members, Tommy, was talking about, how do I accomplish my goal? And I actually got to talk him through like, hey, well, first we need to figure out how you're going to measure it. How can you do something if you don't know how you're going to do it in the first place? And so we actually talked and sat down. And by the end of the conversation, he was like, whoa, like, this is amazing. Like, I actually know how I'm going to do this. It's not on a whim. He actually has a measurable goal that he can try to attain by the end of the year.
That's awesome, dude.
And anything that we try to do, or that you need to do, you can come on our mastermind group coaching, ask that question, and you're going to get me and Dave, which is normally $300 an hour, and it's probably going to go up to $500 soon. And instead, you get to be in the group with us every 2 weeks and get it as part of your membership.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's cool. Between the insiders group on Facebook, the private group, and the mastermind that we do every couple of weeks, that I think that's really cool, because as Church Training Academy grows, more people are going to be involved, which broadens the knowledge base to pull from. There's going to be people that have been where you want to go and can guide you into that place. There's people that have run into the roadblocks that you have and that can share their wisdom with you. And we actually saw that. Justin and I are the experts and stuff, because we're doing this, right? But the reality is there's people in our group that are a lot smarter than we are. And so 2 weeks ago when we had our mastermind, I remember I was having a problem with the TriCaster, which I've been using for like 10 years. And Neil Fisher is a TriCaster user. He's like, no, dude, here's how you do it. Do this, do that. And I was like, oh, duh, there you go. That's great. So that's the kind of knowledge pool that you have when you join Church Training Academy. So I can't tell people enough how valuable that is. For us as the people who are like hosting it, we're learning a ton of stuff, not to mention you guys as well. So come and join. That's churchtrainingacademy.com/join. And if you do, be sure to say hi.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's an amazing value. I keep telling Dave we need to raise the price, but he's like, not yet. And so you guys need to get on here because eventually I'm gonna convince him.
Oh yeah, no, the bullets in that chamber. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah. So, all right, good stuff.
All right, so let's see here.
I got to go ahead and take off. You handle
do
the
that.
outro, Dave. Is that cool?
Yes, absolutely. I will do that.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a question down below in the comments, and we'll get back to you if you have another question.
Fantastic. All right, guys, as we bid farewell to the lovely and talented Justin Nava, let me do our outro real quick. I kind of was hoping that I could get it into that as we were closing out there. Before I do the outro, I want to jump over into our chat and see if you guys have any questions, if anybody needs anything. And if not, then I'll close it out. Has this been helpful for you guys? Let me know. See, Billy Taylor says that, oh, hi, Billy. Man, I'm glad you're in here, dude. Hadn't heard from you in a while. Aren't you and I supposed to be going to lunch sometime a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? Calling you out, dude. Let's see. So Christopher Hall says, oh my gosh, I love it. It drives me nuts that people that try to do anything with media and they don't look back and ask if this is something that looks like something you would open just like the other media items. No, that's right. And I think that's actually a really valuable point that that Justin brought up earlier in our talk. If you're consuming this stuff, and I can't remember, one of our guests, I want to say it was Brandon, said, you know, and if it's not Brandon, I don't remember who it was. We've had so many guests now. But one of our guests made a really good point that we are consumers, right? Just period. We consume whatever. So we consume Netflix, we consume television, we consume pizzas, just whatever, right? So you have to understand that even though, and this is, Justin said, we need to send out these emails, so people can be praying for these ministries and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's all fine. But here's the reality. The reality is that as I'm sitting at my desk, I'm not and doing my work or running errands or doing something like that. I'm not necessarily in a ministry mindset as a member of the church, right? I'm a person going about my life, okay? So if you're going to try to get my attention, then you need to be speaking directly to me on subjects that warrant my attention. Now, if you want to do a prayer drive, let's say, for something specific, the Disciple Now weekend that's coming with the kid, then you put that out there as a separate piece of content, as a separate email. You don't say, hey, Disciple Now is this weekend, so show up and and be sure to get your registration. Don't send that out to someone who's a single widower in the church. He doesn't need to register for Disciple Now, But when you go to send out the email that says our Disciple Now will be beginning on Friday night at 6 p.m. and if you haven't gotten your prayer bands, then there's a few more left in the office, or just pick a kid and start praying for him. You see what I'm saying? That's something that you're targeting the people specifically to take action, take prayer action on a certain subject, and you can send that out church wide, as opposed to where we're doing this and here's all this information and shotgun blast to people who really doesn't matter to. So anyway, but we are consumers, so you got to remember that. If you're going to ask someone to stop what they're doing and pay attention to you, you need to be thinking like a marketer, not necessarily thinking in just 100% ministry mind. Okay? So remember, these two do work hand in hand. You got to wear the appropriate hat at the appropriate time. All right. Let's see. Oh, great. Now Billy's throwing it back on me, waiting on me. All right. I'm going to go check my email thread. See who's actually up. Okay, Billy, I will send you an email as soon as we're done here, and we can schedule a little lunch next week. All right, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and cut this short-ish. We're almost at the 1 hour mark. Oh, and by the way, yes, we are starting the show at 11:15 now instead of 11 on Fridays, that's just part of our new schedule here. So be sure to join us 11:15. Of course, you guys that are on our email list will be getting the email notifications, and you can just click and join live. Yes, we are working on new artwork and new, not necessarily the new format. I've actually been refining the format. If you guys have been subscribe to the podcast, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, guys, go subscribe to the podcast. Come on, subscribe to the podcast. I really want to develop that little platform, and it really doesn't matter if you're on iTunes or if you want to get it through Google Play. You can do that. I'm going to be looking into Spotify and also the Amazon services and all that sort of stuff. So we're trying to make this as available to all of y'all in the way and on the platform that you need. But if you just go to ctapodcast.com, you can choose your poison there. So anyway, I've been working on and refining the format of the show. If you guys haven't noticed, we've got some bumpers now. We're actually moving from section to section a little more with a little more purpose, as we've been fleshing this whole thing out. And hopefully you guys are seeing improvements, and hopefully you guys will continue to see improvements as we do all this. I don't know if we're ever going to do a fully produced live show where, I'm running music and I'm doing all this sort of stuff, like I did back, those of y'all who know me from Geek Beat, the way we did Geek Beat Live, where, I had tons of assets and I did, gargantuan amount of show prep and all that. That was a different type of show that we were doing. We were doing a live show. We were also recording it for a national cable network and all that. So, we wanted to make sure that that while everybody was corralled in the studio at that time, we could use that time as wisely as possible. And it took, you guys don't know this, but it took a lot of prep work to do something like that. So I don't know if we'll ever do something like that, but doing the podcast, doing the stuff on YouTube, doing the live, with you guys so that we can, spend some time together and actually get this recorded and let you guys just hang out with us while we're doing that and all that. I really enjoy that. So anyway, Jordan says that I'm getting ready to sneeze. Hang on. Oh boy. Okay, maybe not. Jordan was in our mastermind last night, and yes, I did not. Hang on, here it comes. Yes, I was actually shooting an event in Grand Prairie, a big, huge dance event for the Grand Prairie Fine Arts Academy. It was really cool, really cool. I don't have like any rhythm for dancing and stuff, but what these kids did, oh my goodness, this was like watching a Broadway show. These guys were awesome. So I did not get to join in on the mastermind, but I heard it went really well. Anyway, if no one else has any questions or anything, I will talk to you guys later. Love you all. Thank y'all so much for watching and hanging out with us and asking questions and stuff. And just have a fantastic weekend. Be sure to take all the stuff that we've been talking about and go change lives.